Allegations from Donald Trump's one-time national security advisor, John Bolton. The book is one of the stories dominating headlines at this hour. A particularly devastating headline from the Drudge Report, quote, Trump liar asks chief for re-election help, okayed concentration camps, Pompeo says, POTUS full of bleep. It's the book that the White House has fiercely fought and is still fighting to block from publication. It's now abundantly clear why that is, and we should add it's not even on the shelves yet and is already a bestseller. Joining our conversation, political strategist Steve Schmidt and Democratic strategist Basil Smikle. Steve, we'll get to the flawed messenger that is John Bolton, but first on the portrait of Donald Trump as so much more ignorant and so much more corrupt than even what we know from contemporaneous news reporting and accounts.
Good afternoon, Nicole. I'm not sure that I agree that the book is revelatory as much as it is confirming of the total and absolute lack of fitness for office that we've seen Donald Trump exhibit for all of these years. That he would ask the Chinese president for help in his reelection to surprise nobody. He's courted it from Russia. He's courted it from Ukraine. He's asked China to intervene before. The portrait that is painted in the excerpt for the book demonstrates why we have a shattered economy, why there's more than 100,000 dead Americans from the inept response to coronavirus. He has no capacity to do the job. He is staggeringly ignorant, uninterested, and corrupt. Has no fidelity to American values, doesn't understand the history of the office he holds. It's just shattering in its descriptions of Trump. And as we're 150 days from the election, it's just more evidence about somebody who can't possibly do this job for another 4 years.
And Basil, I guess the man bites dog part of the story is that the person leveling the accusations isn't Adam Schiff or Steve Schmidt or me. It's John Bolton, a conservative's conservative.
Right, and I actually agree with a lot of what Steve has said. I mean, in this era of accountability and transparency, one of the things that struck me about all of this is like, wow, why weren't you able to raise that alarm sooner and in a more public way that you could have in front of members of the House or the Senate, where you do this with that level of oversight? Because if you're standing in the White House and you're watching our democracy be unravel because of the actions of this president, I would hope that you wouldn't wait to sell a book before you raise those concerns. Having said that, I do think it's important that it comes from him, especially at a time when you have these bipartisan political action committees coming online in this election cycle, because his words, his statements in that book can help promote a narrative about this president that hopefully will stick as long, all the way up until November. I'm not sure that it will. I don't know that it delivers anything new, as Steve said, that we didn't already know or suspect. But if there is a constant drumbeat, and if there are more people that will come out, even if it's in the context of selling a book, I do think it helps the narrative.
Steve, you and I were practitioners of not just message repetition, but of a diversity of messengers. And what do you think it means for Donald Trump's ability to argue his case that you've now got both Joe Biden, his Democratic opponent, and John Bolton basically saying the same thing on the question of incompetence and corruption of Donald Trump?
Well, it's a damning indictment. It's an obvious one. When we look at the events of 2020, I'm not sure you can add more weight to the case for him being unfit for the office. So the level of corruption, the level of malfeasance, incompetence, ineptitude, general scumminess, all of it, I think, manifests in this book to show a portrait of a president who is just deeply unfit for the job and dangerous in that office. And I think that's what the book shows. Though, certainly John Bolton, I think, has some very serious explanations to give about why he waited to monetize on this information the way that he has.
Basil, last word to you, my friend.
You know, I'm just thinking about Joe Biden, as I heard somebody say yesterday, even sitting in his basement, he is portraying a type of leadership and stability that we don't see coming from the other side. And every day, including today with this breaking news, it just continues to prove that point. And as long as he can maintain this path and remain relatively gap-free, I do see a very strong sort of way for him into November.
It's a great point to end on, Basil, because the contrast was one that Trump thought would serve him. But when you've got Trump heading to Tulsa, where he is literally knowingly endangering everyone that comes out to see him, we know he knows that because he's asking them to sign a waiver. And Joe Biden's in his basement to do the opposite, to protect his supporters. It is a stunning contrast. Basil, Steve, thank you so much for finishing us off, underscoring everything we've been talking about. It's great to see you both. That does it for our hour. Thanks for letting us into your homes during these extraordinary times. Our coverage continues with Chuck Todd after a quick break.